everybody? Hope y'all out there having a blessed and wonderful day as always. Remember two things: it's a good day to be alive, but an even better day to be great. So get up and get to the grind, whatever that may be for you. All right, this is episode 2 of Talking to the Moon podcast. I'm Moon. Welcome to the Moon Show. Today's guest, like I said, they might not be special to y'all, but they're special to me. The people who have had impact on my life, who I think are very interesting. And today, not just, I'm going to give you all the titles, not just my head coach, not just my best friend, not just a partner in crime, not just a firefighter, not just the EMS? Emergency medical services, not just an MMA coach, not just a former pro fighter, not just an athlete. This dude has a lot of titles, but me, I just call him like, what up, Al? Man, I'm just gonna kick it off right then and there. Like a man that wears many hats, bro. Yeah. I think that's like, that's the game of life. You play the game of life. How you wear that many hats?
It's just balance, man. It's all a balancing act. It's like that shit in the circus where you see them just balancing like plates on the sticks. Yeah. It's just a balancing act, like from living my life in different sectors. Like I had a whole fight career. I became a firefighter. In the middle of that, then now I'm venturing off into this EMT thing. Mm-hmm. Became a head coach for you and some other guys, and just venturing off and living my life in different sectors. I try to say like, even though I'm only 31, I feel like I've lived 2 lives already.
Bruh, yeah, you're doing more than most people probably done in a lifetime already. Do you have a favorite? Because like as you mature and grow older, like the same things might not mean the same things to you now as they once did. But do you have a favorite period or a favorite portion of those different hats that you wear that's like, man, you know what? This was the shit. I'm trying to, like, this was a highlight of my life.
Bro, so I literally think about this often. I think about, like, my amateur career as an MMA fighter. Mm-hmm. I think those were some of the best times of my life because I was broke, right? I was working at Dairy Queen.
Goddamn.
Right? I was broke, but I was also free. You know what I'm saying?
In what manner?
Like, I didn't have the obligations to serve like I do now. Yeah. Like, because I look at my whole life and I'm just a servant. From being a firefighter to an EMS, provider, to being a coach, I'm always serving people.
Yeah, other people. Yeah, it's always about that.
And with that, most people look at it as like a noble thing, but with that also comes an obligation. Yeah. So I'm like obligated to other people. Yeah. All the time, But when I was like an amateur fighter, I was only obligated to myself and my journey. I was working at Dairy Queen.
So you got to be a little selfish, is what you're saying.
Like I got to be a little selfish, and my whole fight career was very selfish. Like you got to be.
Dude,
you know that.
Fighting is selfish. You told me that.
I know.
And for a lot of y'all that don't know, like y'all hear a lot of words of wisdom and a lot of things, and I tell people don't shoot the messenger because you don't like the message, or maybe you heard the message elsewhere. One of my pet peeves is like, say I might say something. Somebody like, oh, so-and-so said that. I'm like, so? Yeah. Was it a good message? Yeah. Who's mad? You know what they did? They killed the greatest messenger of all time.
Jesus Christ.
Like, they don't never want to show you love, bro. If they did that to Jesus, imagine what they gonna do to you. All right, don't kill the messenger. They crucified him literally. All right. Look, I'm not a like religious person, but I do believe in God, but I don't follow any particular religion. I like to say I'm spiritual. I believe in a higher power, and whatever makes you a good person makes you a good person. But I also believe if you can't make fun of shit, get out of here. I ain't gonna talk to you.
Facts. You're right.
But yeah, so like you put me on it. He's like, yo, fighting is selfish, bro. It's all about you. But in a weird way, even though it's selfish, it's like you need it for a certain purpose. I don't know why a lot of other people's reason to fight was. Yeah. I always looked at it as selfish for that small moment. Yeah. And then what I learned in that small 8-week, 10-week, 12-week training camp, fight, post-fight, pre-fight, I was able to give that back through teaching and coaching. And I've learned a lot about coaching just from you, how you coach me. Because like we're two different individuals. We got a lot of similarities, but we also got a lot of things that we do differently. And I think it was after I was the head coach of the athletes at Rush going into their first kickboxing Muay Thai match. After halfway in the camp, what I call you? I said, man, how the fuck you do this shit, man? I can't. I said, I know when I want to do something, if I don't do it, it's all on me, right?
Yeah,
it's selfish.
Facts.
I'm not the person that's like, man, I lost because, or what I said the first two words that come out of a loser's mouth are,
you said but and
if. I said, but if.
Yeah.
If I would have had so-and-so, I would have won. If I didn't miss this, I would have won. Or they lost. But the you a fucking loser, dog.
Yeah.
You a fucking loser. And how I honestly felt every time I win was because of my team, and every time I lost was because of me. Yeah. Because every time I stepped in the cage, I had the ability to win. So I'm like, you step in there, 16.
Pause for a second. Do you guys hear that? Do you hear this right here? Right? This is called accountability. Let's say it again, kids. Accountability. All right? He said, whenever I won, it was because of my team. And whenever I lost, it was because of me. That right there is the definition of what an athlete should be. You never take the credit. You never sit there and say, oh, I did it all on my own. You can't. You can't do it by yourself. Nobody can. Yeah. You can't do it by yourself. I don't care what sport you're playing. You can't do it by yourself. You need someone to get you to the next level. But even though I take losses very personal, every time he lost, I took it very personal, and I had to dig deep and find out, okay, how do I revamp and how do I get better? But he took the losses on the chin and said, yo, that was my fault. I messed up. But the wins, he gave glory to the team, to the guys ahead of him and the guys that were guiding him in the direction. I'm not saying you guys have to fully embrace that, but at least take accountability for what happens to you. I've taken accountability for my whole career. All the decisions that I've made in fighting and all the things that went right and went wrong, I could have did things better, but I take accountability at the end of the day. And that's what it should be, accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability.
One more time.
Accountability.
All right. We're going to flip that. Yeah. All right? But that's how I felt, just because like it's easy to give somebody else the blame, and it's hard to own up to it. But part of that was also seeing how you handle situations and stuff too. Yeah. It's like when you asked me one of the best questions I think a coach could ever ask their athlete, and I'm your athlete, all right? And shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly high, all right? EAGLES, all right? Nick Sirianni told his guys, he said, hey, never want to give yourself too much credit for a win, but never want to torture yourself for a loss, right? It's never as good or as bad as it seems, right? Fact. He said, hey, we're going to treat this success like perfume. We're going to smell it, smell good, but don't taste it.
Ooh.
I said, oh,
that's good.
That's real. Like, you know what? I do smell good. It's the fruits of my labor. Like, I put in the work. So when somebody say, man, you cocky, you say you're a winner. I am a winner. I believe that I was a winner before I even met you, and I believe a winner when I fucking forget you. Yeah. I take that shit personal. People don't understand that. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't have to prove to you I'm a winner. Yeah. I believe I'm a winner. Muhammad Ali said, I'm the greatest. Not, y'all think I'm the greatest. Yeah. Like, I'm the greatest. I don't care what you believe. Yeah. I believe, right? Yeah. And you asked me a question. We were sitting down, and you said, hey, Moon. Because I wasn't riding high like you had to, like, get me off my high horse. You just asked me a serious question. You said, how do we beat you? We were sitting right there on the couch in the living room. You said, what's the game plan to beat you? And then it made me think. He was like, yo, they don't even exist, right? He was like, the opponent don't even exist. They good at grappling. I'm not worried about it. You got enough counter grappling and striking to keep it striking. So don't make your game plan to counter grapple. How about we just make the game plan filling in your holes? Yeah. And then when you ain't got no more holes, how they go? They gotta fight you. You're not fighting them. Yeah. You told me that before my dramatic fight. He said, hey man, you know this guy that everybody's scared of, you know, look good on paper. Yeah. Everybody said no. You took it on 27 days notice, coming off of an injury. Because you said you wanted to be number one. Remember, he got to fight you. He got to fight Moon Cosme.
Yep.
And I literally was like, that's right.
Yeah.
That nigga got to fight me.
You got to smell the perfume.
I smelt it. Cause I was like, I am that guy.
Yep.
Not in a cocky way. I was like, I am that guy.
Yeah.
What I do, I went out, one of the best performances of my life.
For sure.
Knocked him out in the second round. Should have been done in the first, but the referee stood us back up for the hit to the back of the head after I wrestled him.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever.
Crazy.
But got the knockout. It was like, all right. And then so now in the pro career, we always like, hey, what aren't you good at? People are like, oh my God, you're good at wrestling. I'm like, bro, you know we've been doing half shot drills since I was an amateur.
Bruh, yeah.
And then now it's just, hey, fittings, that's our warm-ups now.
Yep.
That's our warm-ups.
Yeah.
That was the whole hour and a half, 2 hours we trained. So like when you asked me that question, it made me think like, damn, if I was gonna defeat Moon, how would I do it?
Yeah.
And it made me look at my fight career differently. So then it made me say, hey, I lost here. It's because I didn't fix that hole outside of training camp. So I took accountability for that. I felt like with you, Cole, and Bubby in my corner, there's no way I should lose no matter who's in the ring. I don't care. Mighty Mouse could have been in there.
Yeah.
Is he better than me? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I believe I can win? There's a chance.
Yep.
So you're telling me there's a chance, right? That's how I feel. I'm like, hey,
Facts.
you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mighty Mouse. You know, I don't want no smoke, but you know, I would. I'm crazy. I retired. He retired. Perfect time.
Yeah. Funny how he retired when I'm up and coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see how that worked, right? But that was a little interesting.
I do remember that conversation specifically because I remember where I was at mentally, like when I was preparing to ask you that question because I think we were getting ready for one of the guys, one of your UFL fights. Yeah. The guy dropped out or whatever and all that stuff. And
Scouter guy.
Yeah, and we were like, you know, moving on to some other people and some other options. And I was thinking about the game plan on like, you know, all right, if we choose this guy, what do we have to do? If we choose this guy, what do we have to do? Or if we choose this guy, what do we have to do? And then I started thinking about it and I was like, you know, not in a, like you said, in a cocky way. It's just like, they don't really matter.
Yeah.
They don't really matter. It's always you versus you when you're fighting. Mm-hmm. Because if you make it you versus them, it's a 2-on-1.
That was my
you getting jumped.
That was my last fight.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Akeem. Shout out to Akeem, the Dream Bashir.
And one of the best martial artists I know.
One of the best martial artists I know.
I say that all the time.
Bro, he is the Avatar.
Yes.
All right? You know, where you been for 100 years, nigga? We needed you. Right? But I felt like that because I was telling him the thought processes I had in that first round. Every last person asked me. And think about if every last person asked me how many times I already asked myself, damn, you normally come out there guns a-blazing fast. I said, yeah, I normally do. And he saw that. So he didn't come out guns a-blazing because he was preparing for the onslaught. And then I didn't come out guns a-blazing because I was preparing for the onslaught. And then we also had, bless you. We also had 25 minutes. I'm like, most of y'all motherfuckers can't even last 15 minutes. Y'all can't even last 3 good rounds. I gotta fight for a possible 25.
Yeah.
But where I lost that at was the fact that I went against my own beliefs.
Yep.
And my own belief is, I don't believe in time. I genuinely don't believe time exists.
We've had multiple conversations.
We've had conversations about this, and we'll get into that on another podcast. Maybe with John. Rick John, you know, Buffalo Bill. Yeah. Bring him in. That'll be a conspiracy podcast for all my homies. But like, the first thing I said after round 1, I said, damn, that went by fast. I said, that was it. I said, damn, we got 20 minutes. I never in my life ever fought like it was going to a last round.
Yeah.
I literally said, which you told me to stop saying, because we would be out on like pre-fight, fight week and shit, and it'd be like having a meal, and our waitress would come up to her and like, you know, what are you guys doing this weekend? And I'm like, I'm gonna die. And he's like, bro, you can't just be telling me.
Yeah.
Out in public, you die this weekend.
I'm prepared to die. And I'm like, keep that in your head.
Yeah.
Keep that to yourself, bro.
So I remember that like we was like at IHOP or whatever as an amateur, and that lady came and she looked at me crazy like, did this motherfucker just say he about to die? So what are you guys getting into this? Well, where are you going? Like, oh, we're out from out of town. I was like, oh, okay, what are you guys in town for? It's like, you're like, oh, yeah, there's a fight tomorrow. She's like, oh, a fight? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna die. She's like, Maybe you want some extra pancakes? Yup, it's my last meal. So I never fought like there was, but I had to be intelligent.
Yeah.
But I was thinking too much. Oh, I didn't get the reaction. I didn't do this. So now I'm thinking against me and against him. So now it's 2 versus 1. So I'm jumping myself. I believe I have everything, and I'll never take credit away from any of my opponents. I'm not that guy. I lost. I got beat. Woohoo! It happens.
That's it.
Everybody loses.
That's it.
I just know I have the skills and the mindset to do so. It was just a little lapse in my own personal judgment based off of what was going on. For sure. Right? I assessed some things, and then I spent too long assessing and not executing. Yeah. You told me. And like fighters out there, you need your fucking feelings hurt. Because I'm down on myself. And you know what this motherfucker told me? He said, you were waiting to get hit, and you got fucking hit. Yep. That's somebody keeping it real with the fighter. He's not coating my ego. He's not saying, he's not vibrating into me. He sees me beating myself up, so he ain't got to beat me up. He knows I'm harder on me than he'll ever be, but he also not going to lie to me because he knows my heart. He said, hey, you were doing too much assessing. You were waiting to get hit, and you got fucking hit. Yep. You were waiting to get hit to go. You waiting to get hit, and you got hit. And we've had that conversation. You said, man, I feel like I should have told you to wrestle. I should have did this. Yeah. And this is 2 men with the same objective, both taking ownership and saying, I could have fixed this and I could have fixed this, so we come back together and fix it together versus you ain't do this. You ain't holding up pads. You ain't do this. Yeah. Why when I was just like, damn, bruh, I'm already a head coach. I sacrificed all this shit for you. Now you gonna tell me what the one thing I ain't do? Yeah. It's like, damn, I see a lot of fighters take that me against the world attitude, and it kind of pollutes some of the close relationships next to them. Can you speak on like what is that?
I was gonna say, like, from my own personal aspect is this right here, right? If you are a fighter who like says like you said, right? You was like, yo, I'm going all in on myself. Mm-hmm. Quit my job, I'm going all in on fighting, right? And I say, okay, I'm going with you. Yeah. Like, let's go all in, bro. Like, it doesn't matter, like, what else is going on. Obviously, I got a lot of obligations. Like, I got a lot of things I got going on, as far as, like, career-wise, work, friends and family, other things going on.
You got 37 jobs. But like, you gotta be half Haitian, half Mexican.
My dad said I work like a Jamaican. Jamaican.
Bro, your dad's in New York. In New York, Jamaican's got 8 jobs, dog. They got 8 jobs. I don't know how. It's only 7 days a week. I don't know how you have 8 jobs. Bro, it's real though. In the city, they find a way.
Thanks. But if I decide to go all in and I say, yo, like, when we training, when there's a time, I'm there. I'm early. Whenever there's a fight, I take off from work. I make sure I do all the things I need to do to be there, right? So if I say I'm going all in, I'm gonna be there. And then after the fight, you tell me, yo, like, you ain't doing enough for me. I'm like, nigga, I did everything I could. What more you want me to do, right?
You want me to fight him?
Yeah, you want me to jump in there with you so we can jump him? But that would be like a spit in my face. But like, we're both men that we have a code between us two. Yeah. And it's like, yo, you said you was going in? I was like, nigga, let's do it then. I'm going all in too, right? I'm jumping in the water. Let's go.
I didn't expect that. But I also wasn't expecting it. I wasn't saying, hey, I'm going in, waiting for you to jump in. Yeah. Right? And this is something that I learned in my journey before I even started MMA. And I was going through my own little existential crisis after my first back surgery. I told you all the crazy stuff that happened to me. I was on bed rest. I couldn't even walk at the time. Yeah. And I had images of being a great athlete. Yeah. I just got in a car accident. Some doctor was playing in my spine. Yeah. And now I'm on the bed listening to Kobe Bryant speeches. And I'm like, I can't do nothing physically. I gotta adopt the Black Mamba mentality. I gotta build up my mind so strong that fuck the doctors, fuck what they saying. I know what's possible. Yeah. But I learned this. I said everybody talks about a give and take relationship, right? Yeah. A reciprocal relationship. Yeah. Let's do this. Put your hand out, right? So if that's in your hand, right, and you give it to me, I just open it up, just give it, and I take it. You gave, I take. Thank you, right? believe in that. I believe giving and accepting. If you opened your hand and you gave that to me, and I did this, I'm allowing you to give it to me.
Yeah.
I'm allowing you to finish that.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna take from you. I'm saying, hey, I'm accepting of whatever you have.
Yeah.
Maybe you had 5 pennies in there or 5 pieces of fruit. I'm not just gonna take what I want. I'm gonna take what you're willing to give me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna accept that. Yeah. And I'm like, as a man who has a relationship, you have a woman, you have a family, you have 37 jobs, and now, or any free time you have, you're gonna dedicate to me. It can never be your fault. You're giving me everything you got whenever you get it. Yeah. So we had to like establish a level of respect. When I told you, hey man, I was just expressing my vision with you. What I saw, I said, man, I'm working at this job. I'm about to leave this job. Man, I feel like I got cut the safety net because I'm not really working at the job. I went from full-time to part-time to this. I'm really spending more time in the gym. I'm just not making no money. Yeah. It's the only reason why I'm trying to hold on to this job. But I feel like if I don't even give that stuff the option, I gotta make this work. Burn the fucking boats.
Yeah.
There is no plan B. It's just only plan A, right? Yeah. Plan A can't fail. What is it? Die or succeed.
Yeah.
So I just put my back against the wall, not expecting you to say, hey, I got your back. I was just saying, hey, I'm all in. I didn't know as a coach and now as a seasoned fighter that fighters say that shit all the time, but 9 out of 10 of them don't mean it. It sounds good. It's a soundbite. Yeah. Nigga, I'm all in. I've been fighting my whole life. Nigga, me against the world. And they wait for someone. They're like, you gonna help me? That's like, they're really screaming, you gonna help me. It's like, nah. And my lesson 5 years prior when I was in college and the shit like that was like, I had a falling out with somebody who was like a brother to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking with my mom. And I was like, yo, I'm tired of being a good person. I'm tired of being a good person. She said, good's not something you do. Good's who you are. She's like, I named you your name, because it means goodness in the way of judgment or deed in the way of life. You don't have a choice. Yeah. Like you think you got a choice to be good. It's in your heart. You can try, but it won't resonate with who you are. I named you that because that's who you are. And I was like, I was playing the victim and didn't know it. I was like, oh, whoa, like, fuck, everybody taking advantage of me. And then that's when I thought about the giving and the taking. It's like, they take advantage of you because you allowed them to. You shouldn't have allowed it. You allowed it for so long before that people thought it was okay. Yeah. So now I'm like, showing my teeth. Hey, dog, you get this close, you get bit.
There's always a way to say no. There's always a way out or a way to say no. Yeah. And when you're a person who's like a people pleaser or like you're a giver, right? Because I know the feeling too. You try to make people happy. Yeah. Right? Because I have that same struggle. Or when you're a giver and you like to give to people, it's like, that's just hard, bro. That no is real hard to say. And that's where, as a fighter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you exceeded because you knew how much of your time needed to go towards this and how much of your time needed to stay away from this. Yeah. And you were like, yo, I can't give to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I know we're just talking about give and take or give and accept. But you were like, I can't even give this away. Yeah. Because it's like, yo, I got this goal. And the mission is always more important than how you feel. Yeah. The mission is always more important. And that's one of the things that we say we got a code between us. That's one of the barriers of our code. Yeah. It's like the foundation of our code is like, the mission is more important than everything. You know what I'm saying? I remember, Jesse had his fight, his last fight. Yeah. I had surgery the weekend before that. I had a fucking hernia surgery the weekend before that. I couldn't even stand up straight. I was like this right here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And my fucking stomach got cut open. And I had told him months ago I was going to be there for him. Yeah. I showed up. Yeah. People was like, no, you just, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, but no matter how I feel.
I gave my word. A man, I can't even think about this memory without getting emotional. You already know which one I'm talking about. It's my favorite training camp memory ever. I've had a lot of training camps.
For sure. A lot more training camps than you had fights. And people don't even know that.
Maybe 3 times as much. So if I've had 16, 17 fights, I've probably had close to 40 training camps. Yeah. scheduled and unscheduled bouts that got canceled and all this other shit, right? And I'm moving to Warner Robins. I'm staying with Cole because you had got COVID. I was supposed to stay with you, but you had got COVID. This is before, this is during the peak of the COVID shit. This is I think June or July sometime, or whatever. It's July.
It's July. I remember, because I remember when I got COVID.
And the fight is scheduled for October or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was staying with you for the first week of training camp. You literally came home. I'm sleeping on the floor. I still got the video of me eating the tuna on the tuna cheese on the lid. Right? He's like, look at this nigga. But I just know you called me. You was at the station. You was like, hey man, I'm headed home. I might have COVID. I just want to let you know. I'm going straight to the room. Just for your safety, my safety, whatever. You're probably not cool that you can be staying at the crib. I was like, all right, bet. So I already made in my head I'm gonna travel back and forth, which it didn't matter because I was like, the mission was important. You figure it out. Cole was like, hey, bro, you just stay with me. Yep. So I'm sleeping on the little, Ninja Turtle bed for fucking
his son's bed.
Yeah, his son's bed. And I'm like, yo, but I'm like, you do what you gotta do as a fighter. So I don't want to hear that. Oh, but I work and I'm tired and I'm this. Fuck your feelings, bro. You don't think everybody that being busy is a prerequisite of being great? You think great motherfuckers is everything's easy for them?
Bro.
No, it's a prerequisite. So I just remember my favorite training camp memory is you had just got back from COVID. You already weren't training for a fight, but that shit really fucked your respiratory system up. Yeah. And I'm the young, hungry, in shape fighter with limited training partners. And now because of the COVID shit, it's even no training partners.
Facts.
It's me, you, Cole, Jesse, I think Isaac was there at the time. Mm-hmm. So we had 5 people.
Yeah.
And I only had 2 training partners. So I was pretty much just getting round robin by niggas that was all better than me.
Bigger than you.
Bigger than me. You, Cole, Jesse, Micah, Q.
Yeah.
Those were my training partners. And I'm like, yeah, so you wonder when I went in against another 35er and steamrolled them, I was I'm fighting Cole Miller, Micah Miller, Jesse, Q, Quentin Culpepper. I'm not scared of no 35er. I'm nervous that it's a fight, but no, I'm about to smoke you like a Philly button, bro.
Real.
Right? So, but my favorite training camp moment, and I have this clip, and every now and then I'll just look at it.
Oh, I remember. Okay.
We were going, and how often is it just me and you in the gym? How many of our training sessions?
A lot.
80%?
A lot, yeah.
Probably about 80%.
Especially when we first started training.
Right? And not just there, but if there are multiple people there, who's the last 2 people there? Me and you. Right? So I don't know if you know, but I took a video earlier today because we got at the gym, everybody was training. I took a video at the end where you're holding for PK, and it's me, you, Finney, his cousin, and PK in the whole 10,000 square foot gym at Rush.
Yeah.
And it's the people who want to be great will be great.
For sure. Because
they're here while everybody's here, and they're here when no one's here.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Regardless of how they feel, they're looking for opportunities to improve. And getting to this training camp memory, all I know is I'm in shape. I know that I can't hang with you for the first round or 2 because you're too strong, you're too skilled, your wrestling's better than mine, but I'm gonna win. Yep. I will get a win. And I couldn't get a takedown on you to save my fucking life, right? Fucking another brown belt, now ATT black belt, but at that time a brown belt, wrestling really good, MMA wrestling good. You were still competing at that point in time, and you outweighed me by 50 fucking pounds, 40 pounds, right? I'm in training camp, so I'm probably 155. Yeah. And what are you, close to 200? Yeah. So you're talking about you outweigh me, and I'm just I don't give a fuck about that. I'm gonna get it. I'm taking this nigga down. Maybe not in the first round, maybe not in the second round, maybe not the third round, but the fourth and the fifth. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And I remember we were supposed to be going. We're going, and we did a whole training session, and Cole was watching the whole training session, and I think we trained for an hour 15, super high pace, because at that point in time, I didn't know what the flow was, and I'm going into a camp, so I'm just going, don't hit no takedowns, no nothing, and then I finally hear you go, fuck,
Yeah.
Because I just wouldn't stop coming forward. And he was like, all right. And Cole said, when you get the takedown, the session is over. Now I'm like, I gotta get it.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a clock going. And I had got the takedown. Right? And that was it. And you got up, and I was like, we're not done. Like, not, I need to get another takedown. It was, the clock was still going.
Yeah. I
don't care how tired I am, I'm not stopping if it's time on the clock.
For sure.
And you can see it, we're going, and we kind of like, oh, gotta take takedown, man, you gotta get back up, try and get another takedown on the cage. And then I was just like, we start kind of like walking back. I was like, nah, we got more time. You're dog shit tired. I'm dog shit tired, but I'm like, we're not done until the job is done. I don't care how tired we are. And then the clock goes off, and you just kind of collapse. I had no, in my head, I'm not thinking because I'm a competitor at that moment that, oh man, he ain't got no breath. He's just been out for 2 weeks because of COVID. He hasn't done no moving, no working, nothing. Like, he's really hurting right now just to fucking be here. All I know is I'm going for a takedown because in a fight, I don't care if the other lion's injured. I'm trying to put you out your misery.
For sure.
But me and you have that kind of relationship where it's like, oh, when we go, we're trying to kill each other.
Oh, for sure.
And then as soon as the clock is over, all right, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So as soon as the clock was over, you had hit your knees. I could feel you like, you was like really gasping for you. You was like, it didn't sound like a normal, I'm tired. It sounded like I'm trying to catch air.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey man, like in my head, after the round's over, you never show your opponent that you're tired.
For sure.
So I like picked you up and then we just walked and there's like pictures and video of us walking back to the thing and I can see you're like it's just hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Not I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like it's literally like my lungs can't like catch
Facts.
the air.
Facts.
And I look at that and I'm like, you gave me everything and more.
Yeah.
Everything more. I can't ask. If I asked for you to give me anything, it wouldn't even be as much as you already did.
Yeah.
You know, so like for me, it's like, that's the levels that you're willing to sacrifice your body, your brain, everything to get me to the point to where I can go beat up some other dude.
Yeah.
like think of this twisted world that we live in. So when people tell me they're having struggles at their 9-to-5 job, I'm like, you have no fucking clue.
I got guys, you know what I'm saying, that have helped me get to the mountain. Like, you know, get up the mountain. And, you know, like, it's my duty to pay it forward. Like, I always say, like, my goal and my purpose as a coach is to pass on the knowledge that has been passed on to me from the guys that came before me.
Yeah.
Because Middle Georgia MMA / Jiu-Jitsu is not a new thing. It's just, we are the barriers of, we're the guys carrying the torch now.
Yeah.
And we're passing it on to the next guys. But like, the guys that came before us, they are just as important as we are. And we are just as important as those guys.
Yeah.
So like, me, it's my duty to pass on all of this knowledge that I've acquired from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Yep.
From Thailand to Mexico. Like, you know, the places that I've been, the places that I've trained, like, it's just important for me to pass that shit on to the next guys. And you were, you know, the next guy.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, I'm not holding anything back. This is the guy right here. I'm investing everything. Anybody that comes and trains with us, I always try to give them something, and I always try to receive something. Hey, what y'all doing? Let's show me what you like to do from here.
You did that with shout out to Therese the Punisher Finney.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Finney. I said that backwards. Finney the.
No,
Therese
Therese
bro.
Punisher Finney. Yeah.
See, he done choked me out so bad earlier. I can't even think straight. Nah, but like shout out to Therese, man. Just the heart on that man.
Yeah.
Bigger than his biceps. He got
For
pretty
sure.
big biceps. But like you said that earlier, you was like, hey man, like we was drilling, we was showing, you was like, hey, we're gonna go over this, but he's like, hey, but I want you to show me what y'all been working on.
Yeah.
It's like, you know how many coaches are so egotistical that they think it's about them? It's like, no. How many plays you been in? This is the way we do it.
Yeah.
Well, but just all your fighters get beat because you only doing it the way you do it. And somebody done figured a way to break their style.
Bro.
Nah, don't go to that gym, train over there. That's how
they keep you from going over. That's how they keep your money. That's the thing. So let's talk about that.
I done ruffled some feathers. Hold on.
For real. So like, being a coach now, right? I realize how many coaches are full of shit. Like, I realize how many guys are full of shit. How many gym owners and how many coaches are so full of themselves and so full of shit because they want to keep the product. They want the product right here. Hey, man. This is mine. Hey, don't go over there, man. Yo, them dudes over there, man, they ain't legit. We don't even know who they under. We don't know what they do. We don't. Their MMA record sucks. Let's stay right here. Stay right next to me, and let me keep my hands in your pocket. Like, or their ego is so big, they want to be the guy to get you up the mountain.
So they can say they did it.
So that I can say, I did it. I got this guy up the mountain, right? But think about how selfless it is to say, you know what, Moon? I got you as far as I can get you, man. I'm a guy from Middle Georgia. I got a lot on my plate. Hey, man, like, you need more than what I can provide, right? You're going to forever be my guy.
Yeah.
Like, you forever my homie. But it's like, I've gotten you as far as I can. Now, you need to go here to step your game up.
Yeah.
Because you need to go to the next level. Because there's more levels to this.
Yeah.
And I've seen the next level. I'm just not there, and I can't provide that for you.
Yeah.
Think about how selfless that would be, right? A lot of coaches ain't willing to do that. Because they want to be the ceiling.
Yeah.
They want you to know, this is the ceiling right here.
I'm the best you'll ever find.
This is as good as it gets. Right?
How many people in relationships, like you'll break up with a significant other, you hear that shit, you'll never find nobody like me.
Right?
It's 7 billion people like that. And you think you are the best female to male ratio 10 to 1.
You think that's it?
Hold on. You ain't shit. This a nigga down the block, man.
Yeah, facts. But think about how selfless that is, yo. Right. And like a lot of coaches want to hoard that and keep that shit for themselves, bro. Instead of like passing it off or being like, yo, there's more out there for you, homie.
Yeah.
You ain't even gotta leave the gym though. You really don't gotta leave. It's just, hey, go here and train for a week or two.
Experiment with this, experiment with that.
Go find out what you can learn. And then bring it back here. Bring it back here so I can learn.
Bro, that's what I did at my gym. So shout out. I feel like I was very lucky with how the pieces fell in line with coaches. But it goes to like that thing, like when people say like, oh, luck is like when preparation meets, or success, or luck, or whatever you want to call it, is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
I was always preparing, always hammering away.
Yeah.
And so when people saw me working on me, they wanted to work on me.
Thanks.
And Kurt told me that. He said, Moon, we're at a gym right now where we have Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. You are the only MMA fighter here.
Yeah.
He said, I can only take you so far. He said, when I did Muay Thai and I was at an MMA gym, I had to leave to go to another Muay Thai gym.
Yeah.
In Vegas.
Yeah.
Virginia was bad. He said, bro, I'm over here training with Brandon the Truth Vera and all this stuff because my striking was good, but like I wasn't an MMA guy. I fought Thai. So he's like, I'm never telling you. He says, Moon, I want to let you know something. And I think I was 4-0 or 5-0 as an amateur. I was either 5-0, and I think I had like 3 belts.
Yeah.
Or 4 belts. 3 belts at 5 or 6-0, whatever.
Yeah.
He said, look, I'm not living vicariously through you. I need you to know that right now. I could care less.
Yeah.
And like, I had coaches that kept it real, and they were more interested in the work than what it looked like.
Yeah.
So when they saw me doing the work, Kurt was like, bro, you already won this fight. You already won. You're asking me what more can you do? I'm telling you to stop doing so fucking much. I'm like, what more I can do? You're like, yo, chill out.
Yeah,
I'll take a fucking rest day. Like,
you know what you can do? You can actually relax.
Relax.
Just fucking relax.
Chill, bro.
Yeah, like
you might be Jamaican too.
Yeah. For real.
All right. So we talk a lot about fighting because it's a huge part of our life. It's a huge part of what we do. We've dedicated a lot of time to it.
Facts.
But let's spin off from fighting. What's something else? What's a hobby of yours that you like that ain't got shit to do with fighting or martial arts? Because you're the one motherfucker that told me that I take your advice. I do take your advice. And I might not take it when you take it. When you tell me.
And that's fine, because you gotta digest.
Yeah, you gotta digest.
Yeah.
I can't eat food and then boom, that's it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you just ate food and shit your pants?
Yeah.
Bro, come on, you gotta
I drink
digest.
coffee with me. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, I drink coffee.
For real. Or then sticky. Yeah, sticky. But like, I've seen you enjoy the little things in life, and not from like I'm not a jealous or envious person, but I was like, man, I want to enjoy the little things. And he's like, hey man, why don't you just do something? You literally told me, You said you walked in because we lived together at one point in time for a good bit. I think that actually improved our coaching relationship.
It did,
because you knew what things made me tick. You knew what buttons to push and what this, that. And I remember one fight in Arizona, you was like, hey man, you're a lot more emotional this fight than before. What's on your mind?
Yeah.
And then I told you. I shared it with you. And then in the back before the fight, you told me something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm about to go kill this nigga.
Yeah.
I might have killed him a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's when I fought Velody, and when I got to mount, and I hit him with that first elbow, and it split, people were like, what are you thinking when you elbow him? Are you thinking have mercy and have this? And I'm like, no. Getting physically ready for a fight is easy for me because I stay ready.
For sure.
But getting ready to put my elbow through somebody's head to see the other side of the mat, I have to take myself to a place to where if this was my family and your family in the woods, that goat belongs to my family.
Yeah.
Your family is now my family.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And so I'm not thinking, oh, his elbow, when we was in Miami, and I fought the psychopath, the Russian kickboxer.
Yeah.
Dude was dead in the eyes.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, when we looked up fights, he's fighting in a Russian prison. Mm-hmm. They got dudes with AKs around the cage. You think he's scared to come fight?
Nah.
The Moon Show?
Yeah.
He trying to end me, bro. He trying to say, hey,
show's over.
He was trying to say, hey, y'all.
Season finale.
But, hey, the Moon Show was a conspiracy. We never landed on the moon. We're about to cancel that bitch today. And I was like, nah, bro. We got to keep this conspiracy going, right?
The season finale.
The season finale to the Moon
Show's
Show.
over.
But I'm mounting him, and I'm putting elbows in him, and you like, yo. Because you crazy, too. Up the center. I'm like, oh, bing. And he's like, he starts doing this. I'm like, God, you thought it was the last episode, didn't you? I'm gonna flip that ground and kind of serious for y'all right here, all right?
Yeah.
But but I saw you take breaks and do stuff, and you literally came home one day and said, bro, you like saw some of my stressful environments that other people did not see. You saw me when I was going through depression.
Yep.
You saw me just going through fucking life, trying all the shit that I said I wanted. You saw it, and I remember one of the realest things you could tell me before we can get into like your actual hobbies and stuff. I was depressed, and I tried to lie to myself. And you walked in, because this is how guys handle shit. You walked in, you said, what are you doing, bro? I was playing the game. I was like, man, no, I wasn't playing the game. I was about to, but I didn't. I felt guilty. I said, I don't want to see him come in the house and be playing the game. So I knew, like, playing the game wasn't a good option.
Yeah.
It's not that I should have been training. It's I was avoiding things in my life that I shouldn't have, and that was a thing. But you had seen it, and you were aware of it. So I was like, I'm gonna wait till you need to play the game. And you're walking out, and you say, yo, we're having a conversation. I said, yeah, man, I need to decompress. You said, no, nigga, you ain't decompressing. You're depressing. You need to get up out of that shit. And you walked out, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna play the game. I don't think I'm gonna play the game. I gotta find something to do. But like when we had talked, you was like, you came back and you didn't mean out of ill intent, but you kept it real with me. You didn't pacify me. Yeah. Oh man, I know you're going through a rough time, and they say I didn't even have a loss. It was like I was winning. Yeah. But in my head, life was fucking whatever anybody did to me in the cage. And ain't got shit on my life ever have done to me, might do to me in the future. I don't know what life holds, right? It's about what you do with it. But you looked at me straight in the eye, you said, yo, what you doing is not decompressing, bro. You are depressing. And he walked out, and I was like, man, fuck that nigga. I don't like dark-skinned ass. Yeah, Wesley Snipes looking ass nigga. But like, I was just like, man, you kept it real with me. And then like, later on, so you was like, bro, man, you need some hobbies. Yep. You looked at me and said, you need some hobbies. Yep. And I was like, well, I do. He said, nigga, I'm not talking about training jiu-jitsu. You do that for a living. I'm not talking about fighting. You do that for a living. Don't go watch an MMA fight. Like, what the fuck do you do, nigga? Like, it was weird because you're my coach. I'm all in. But then now you're telling me, hey, bro, you need something that's not fighting because it's driving you insane. And I see it. I can't tell you what your hobbies are. Fucking, you love to do a lot of things. Go do something, bro. And you told me to do it, and I started implementing little things in my life that they're not breaks from fighting. It just allows me to express myself in ways where fighting's not always the outlet. Yeah. And then so we'll pivot that and stop talking about fighting. and say, okay, we'll talk about it, but like also like what's.
Well, what I was gonna say is like, only reason I'm able to recognize that is because I went through that shit too, right? And it's like it's weird because in fighting, I'm older than you, right? Yeah. And in life, you're older than me.
Y'all might not know that. I'm actually in years. I'm 33.
The big brother. I'm the big brother.
But when it comes to fighting, he's older than me. Because he started earlier and had a longer fight. Yeah. Like a longer span.
So it's like crazy because like the things that you were experiencing, I was like, oh, all right, I've been there. I did that. I literally just did that a couple years ago. And it's not like I was like, yeah, son, I did that too. Like, I already know. But I was like, no, I've literally experienced what you're going through. Not exactly what you're going through, but the same feeling. So I was like, this is what helped me, or this is what I did. Don't do this. This is what I did. I'm telling you. This shit don't work. Believe me. I did that. It don't work. So that's why I was... nutrition. Yeah. Thanks, right? But that's why I was able to recognize what you were doing, and you were trying to hide from yourself.
Yeah.
Because
I wasn't trying to hide from you. I was trying to hide from me.
That's what I'm saying. You were trying to hide from yourself. Because I tried that too. Yeah. I tried to say, oh, I'm not depressed, man. I'm good. And it's like, no, you're not good, bro. But what I did was I took a break. I stopped fighting. Like I was like, yo, I'm done. And, you know? And when I made peace with that, I might never fight again. That's when everything started to get better. It didn't happen immediately, but it got better. But the things that I found through that whole period is like, yo, like, I got a lot of things that I like to do and a lot of things that I want to do in life. Yeah. And the longer that I keep this over my head with fighting, I'm waiting for the next fix. Fighting is like a drug, bro. You like this right here. You like, hey, man, I need another one of the fights, man.
Every fight that I've had, as soon as the fight is over, I'm like, win or loss. I've had a lot more wins than losses, right?
When's the next one?
When next one fight?
And so you can't explore your hobbies.
I can't.
You can't. So what I did was, man, I just really started like enjoying my life, bro. And
name some of those things that you enjoy that have nothing to do with fighting. And maybe when I say nothing to do with fighting, I know fighting was like the thing, but like it's not MMA, it's not martial arts.
Shooting. I got into.
You are a gun guy.
I got into guns. I got into shooting heavy. I was shooting like 3 times a week. Like spending a lot of bread on shooting.
So if y'all ain't know, he's certified. He also certified. I came into the house one time and you was like this. Just on the wall. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? I was like, I live here. I pay rent. I promise.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Did my check bounce? Yeah. Hey, Moon.
Yeah. You late rent. I'm not nearly as into guns as I was about 5 years ago, but 5 or 7 years ago. But like, I still like guns.
Do you believe in the right to bear arms?
I believe in the right to arm bears. Yeah, I think all these bears. Some fucking weapons, bro.
I'm not cutting that. I'm fucking leaving that, bro.
Absolutely, bro. I love the Second Amendment, dog. The Second Amendment is not just designed for us to just have guns to hurt each other. The Second Amendment is designed for us to fight against a tyrannical government. Mm-hmm. So if the government decides to do some whole shit, we could be like, nah, no, it ain't. Nah, you know what I'm saying?
The bear is gonna be on our side.
Yeah, the bear is gonna be on our side. But that's what the Second Amendment is about.
I keep cutting down the forest. The bear's gonna come strong. They got a right to bear arms too.
Yeah. But yes, I'm a firm believer in the right to bear arms. I think that not to get political, but they'll never take our guns away. They'll never be able to do that. Like, nobody will ever be. They can make them illegal. They can't take them.
As long as Texas is in the United States.
Oh my God!
But it's probably more guns in Texas than in all the United States.
Bro, they hand you a gun when you move to Texas.
Did I tell you that I went to a gun convention? I went to go visit my cousin who lives in the Dallas area, and her significant other took me. He was like, "Hey man, what you doing?" I guess is this gonna be Texas as fuck? He's like, hey, we're gonna go to Buc-ee's. Before I knew what Buc-ee's was, I was like, alright, cool, it's a fucking gas station. He's like, it's not a gas station.
No, bro.
I was like, okay, it's not a gas station, cool. Went there, I was like, holy fuck, it's not a gas station. They got jerky and this and that and that. This shit was massive. Went there, and then, is your mic?
Is it good?
Is it good?
I'm straight.
Oh, there it is. But it would just look weird. It was weird. Alright. Rewind.
Okay.
Buc-ee's. All right. So it was at Buc-ee's, and he's like, all right, we ain't had nothing planned that day. Like he had some work to do, so I did some work with him or whatever. And then he's like, all right, we're gonna go to this gun show. I was like, all right, cool. Like it's no big text thing. Like we just gonna pull up to a gun show. We didn't have no like reservation. No, we just pull up to the gun show. Largest gun show in the U.S. apparently. It was like I went into a warehouse. You know the scene in The Matrix?
Yeah.
Where all the guns just and it's white and just like never-ending guns.
Yeah.
Pretty much that.
Yeah.
Except for I bought jerky and they were offering me guns. And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna take this on a plane back with me. Maybe it's cool here, but I don't know if I'm gonna get this through the plane.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coquille who got his gun through a plane all the way to Puerto Rico. Like, how the hell you do that? He's like, I just checked my gun in.
Yeah.
I was like,
He told us, I was like, what?
yeah, I was like, I didn't know that. And shout out to Johnny Primo because he was like, I don't go nowhere without my strap.
Yeah.
I was like, but
yeah.
so that was funny. I was like, in Texas, I'm like, bro, I got Buc-ee's and a gun show in the same day. None of it was planned.
Yeah.
Bro, and I was over there like, bro, I'm like, yeah, they would say this automatic A12 shotgun. I'm like, bro, it's an automatic shotgun? Who are you fighting? The tyrannical government. They pull up.
No, that's beautiful, man. I love the fact that we can do that. I love the fact that we have the right, to have guns in this country, man. Like this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I got into. It started out as just me wanting to be able to hunt, and then it just turned into a whole other thing where I was like, dude, I fucking love guns. So guns is one thing that I got into. I got really heavy into whiskey. But this wasn't like I was getting. When I say I got really heavy into whiskey,
I'm not an alcoholic, but I'm an alcoholist. That's the difference. Pinky up, y'all. Pinky up.
Facts. No, I got really into whiskey at some point.
You did at one point in time.
Yeah, I did, man. I got really into that.
Bro, we living together. You bought the special ice cube stuff. I was like,
do it all
around. Look at this big ass ice cube. Bitch can't fit in there.
Trying to do it all, man.
Yeah.
But the main thing that me and this motherfucker both share is movies. Oh, dude, when we lived together, we would literally be like, yo, what we watching tonight? Like, we just like go to the show, look at movies, we'd be like, okay, we seen that, we ain't seen this in a while. Let's check it out.
Jump!
Yeah.
I'm like, can't catch you. You ain't gonna catch me. He's gonna jump out there, you know, like Christopher Reeves. Book him, I'ma jump, but you better not let me hurt myself. Jump! I shoot you there. Bro, that scene went free in my head. And both of y'all. Okay, my heart. 40-year-old virgin.
40-year-old virgin.
Bro,
Right.
hilarious.
So like that was
yesterday you and Tab came over my house. It was like knock, knock, knock. I was like, who is it? It's like the devil.
Yeah.
The devil's not welcome.
Immediately, you know exactly what I was saying. Like that's the thing, bro. Like that's our shit.
Dude,
like,
movies. Yes.
Movies and Avatar is like our shit.
Oh,
yeah, Avatar the Last
So
Airbender.
we're gonna get ready to go ahead and end it. Like, you obviously, like I said, best friend, head coach, special person in my life. We're gonna have more episodes. You're gonna be on for sure. We're gonna go ahead and cut it, right? Less is more is what I'm trying to not trying, it's what I am implementing, right? You don't always have more. So we're gonna get into how I normally close it off, right? So I go Instagram questions, then a book. I'll do book and then the Instagram questions, all right? So this right here, I'm a very avid reader. I've read all these books. I haven't finished the Kobe Bryant Mamba Mentality, but it was written after he was done, so it's kind of a collection. Like I think Phil Jackson and a bunch of other people, just their experiences with him, lots of pictures and stuff like that. So all you dumb athletes, you can read it too. All right, but one of my favorite artists and one of my favorite authors put a book together, The 50th Law.
Yep.
Great book. And if you are human, which most of us are, right? Whatever you identify.
Yeah.
Right? Most of us are. Like, you felt fear before. You have some sort of fear, and if you don't, you're delusional. Okay? The 50th Law. This book has literally helped me walk away from scenarios where I thought there was no other way. I remember, like, oh, I gotta do this. And then I was on a chapter in this book, and I was like, never be afraid to walk away. Let it go. And for me, I don't want to be a know-it-all. I want to be a person that applies it. And I read it, and at the time of my life where I was going through it, I said, you know what? I'm walking away.
Yeah.
And guess what I did? Next step, I moved to Warner Robins. You and me live together.
Oh.
Literally. I won't get too much into it, but if you get a chance, you don't have to read a lot, but if you read a little bit and you like things that can give you different perspective, because when we talk about like experience is a good teacher, but one of the best teachers is learning from other people's experiences. Like you told me, hey man, I see what you're doing because I've been there before.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what's filled up in these, right? The truth is hiding in plain sight. Your success is hiding in plain sight. Everything that you want in your life is hiding in plain sight. Just open a fucking book, because there have been billions of people that have done it before you, and you think that your problems are isolated to you and only you. Get out of your world, get out of your head, get into action, and get into some books. Read The 50th Law by 50 Cent and Robert Greene. All right, awesome book. Now we'll go to the next part. All right, I had Instagram questions. I will give you guys a shout out on whose Instagram it was, but I'm not giving this person a shout out, and you'll know why when I read the question. Can you do a backflip off the cage just like Justin Gaethje? A little bit bottom.
Of course, I already knew before you started reading it.
I ain't giving you a shout out. You got something coming your way in 2025, just know that. It's already into effect, all right? But this one is from Just Nate. I think his name is Nate Wilson, but JUSTTT, that's 3 T's, .Nate, N-A-T-E-E. This might be something you might be able to handle better than me. He said, best advice for a young wrestler. So I messaged him back. I said, hey, is this because you think about getting MMA or just wrestling? So he says, hey, man, Nate Wilson said, hey, I'm really, D1. I like what wrestling has done for me. I want to be able to have my own training facility and team and stuff like that. And I feel like the recipe for success, especially for a young athlete who has this kind of mindset already of seeing what he can see in the future, most people don't have vision like that, right? Sure. Then he mentioned, hey, having a facility where he can have an impact. People don't do that because they're so self-centered. So now he's making it about others, not just himself. That's a very strong driving factor, because when you don't want to do it, you might not do it for yourself, but you'll do it for other people. And he says, wants to beat D1, this, that, and the third. I was like, okay, I thought it was an MMA question, but I'm glad I asked. Yeah. And it's like, the best thing you can do is stay the course. Obviously, you were at Rush today. You were with one of the wizards, the mastermind, Bubby, right? The recipes to success is consistency, intensity, and volume over time. Yep. But you broke your hand. There's something else you can do on the other hand. But you broke your foot. You can study film. You can inquire a high-level wrestling coach like Bubby. What do I have to do not to just make it D1, but to dominate at D1? Also a great coach. Every time I've had questions about how to teach youth, I'm like, Bubby, how do I do this? He's giving me some of the best advice ever. Gamify everything. Don't even teach them details. Just make it a game, and they'll start doing it without you even thinking. Make your life and your wrestling journey a fucking game. It's double XP weekend. When nobody else is at the gym, you're at the gym. For sure. Right? Or how, like you told me, how could you defeat yourself? What's your weakness? Don't double down on your strength. Double down on your weakness, because you're already strong where you're strong. So have a wider base, right? You're not good at Greco? Train Greco. You're good at freestyle? You're not good at freestyle? Train freestyle. Like, make yourself a wide base. But how could you answer that question? We got a couple more minutes left.
I got you. So
he's a wrestler.
I wrestled in high school. Didn't really have a good wrestling career, but I got way better at Rush from Bubby. The only thing I would say is, like moveset, stay the course. Stay consistent. Don't miss practice. That means the night before, you got to make good decisions, right? You got to go home early. You got to get some rest. You can't be out all night. You can't be hanging out all night doing the things you're supposed to be doing, because in the morning you got practice. Stay consistent. Don't miss practice. Stay consistent. Don't let anybody talk you out of not going to practice. Today, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, you've been working out hard all week.
That's the deal.
You know what I'm saying? Saturday morning, you know what I mean? You can sleep in. Nah, fuck that. They gonna be average. You stay consistent. Don't miss practice. Always stay in the gym. If you do that, literally the formula is right there itself. Because everything around staying consistent revolves you eating right, not staying up late, you not chasing girls, you not doing drugs, you
making weight.
You know what I'm saying? Making weight. All of that revolves around you going to practice and staying consistent. Stay consistent, and everything else will be perfectly fine. That's it.
Yep, that's it. I think we'll end on that note. I like to lighten it up. You know, we do a lot of philosophy, a lot of psychology, all this stuff. But we have a little segment called Overrated, Underrated. And I'm gonna ask you, quick question.
All right.
You're usually gonna tell me first thing that comes to your mind. Overrated, underrated. All right. Movies in the movie theater. Overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Overrated. All right. All right.
We watch that shit at home.
Crocs.
Underrated. They're terrible for your feet. Underrated though.
Underrated. Underrated. All right. Kettlebell workouts.
Underrated. I'll die on that fucking hill. They're the best workouts you can ever do. Fucking kettlebells. Go get strong. Stop being a bitch.
All right. For a person with 8 jobs, I thought this would be funny. Sleep.
Overrated.
Overrated. Fuck sleep. Alright, man. I loved it. It was awesome, man.
I know.
Till next time, alright?
Yeah, brother.
Y'all tune in. Next episode, Talking to the Moon.
We out.